we're all Americans. Let's get it done. And folks, we've got to get back to that mentality. Now, what do we do about it? Number one, we got to figure out who's behind it. Here's how they do it. Let's go back to George Herbert Walker Bush administration. Everyone, with the exception of Dan Quayle, who couldn't even spell potato, and his old buddy Jim Baker and Health and Human Services Secretary Louis Sullivan, were members of the Council on Foreign Relations. That rich, good old boy, Eastern establishment, Wall Street bunch that has run and dictated to the government of this country since before World War II. Oh, but that's all right then. Then we elected a Democratic administration, Bill Clinton. Oops. Every member of his cabinet, with the exception of William Perry, Defense Secretary, Council on Foreign Relations. Well, that's all right, because when we had another opportunity, we swung back, got another Republican administration, George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice, Donald Rumsfeld, Robert Gates, Elaine Chao, Christine Todd Whitman. Oops, all members of the Council on Foreign Relations. And now we've got Obama. Now we got Obama. And with the exception of Hillary Clinton, who's a Bilderberger, we got, Robert Gates. He's in there again. Janet Napolitano, Bill Richardson, Susan Rice, James L. Jones, Timothy Geithner, all Council on Foreign Relations. So the puppeteers never change. It's just the hand puppets that change. And they whip us from National Socialism to Marxist socialism. And while I mentioned his new National Security Advisor, James L. Jones, in early 2009, about this time last year, a little bit earlier, February, he goes to the Munich Security Conference, and they have just given an award to Henry Kissinger, the very man who is acknowledged as the architect of our modern foreign policy, the very thing that everyone kind of agrees has gotten us in the mess that we're into today. And General James L. Jones gets up the next day and says, thank you for honoring Dr. Kissinger. He says, as the new National Security Advisor of the Obama administration, I take my daily orders from Dr. Kissinger, passed down through Brent Snowcroft. There is a command structure in the National Security Council that remains in place. Now, folks, that tells you where it's at. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, this got to be an internet joke. You know, so they're not going to just fess up and actually admit all this. You know, who voted for Henry Kissinger? Who thought that he's still in charge? So I go to digging down to find out where this come from. And I found it was verified. And I found that his exact words were transcribed and written down and published on a website. And guess which website it was? Council on Foreign Relations. Folks, these are the people you need to be looking at, okay? This isn't a right-wing, left-wing, liberal, Republican problem. This is a moneyed, secret society elite that is trying to destroy this country, turn us into a zombie nation. And they're doing a pretty good job. They've got us distracted with TV. We're into the matrix, okay? We're not physically hooked to the computer, but we are entranced by an electronic matrix formed by radio and TV that gives us a false impression of the world. So quickly, what do we do about it? How do we remedy a broken society? First, you audit the Federal Reserve and or you abolish it. Secondly, I took a picture of my original Social Security card. I censored out the number. I didn't want all you guys writing checks on my name. No, this was given to me. My little signature is so funny. That's the way I wrote it when I was about 15 years old. Notice it says, not for identification. When did that become your computer number, and when did you get to vote for it? All right? The other thing is that Congress is on the federal employees' retirement system, and they've made themselves a nice, cushy little deal there, okay? They get to retire at their top salary for the rest of their life, except for increases as the cost of living goes up. Now, if you people, some of you people about my age or older, and you're probably getting concerned about Social Security and Medicaid, you know how to straighten that up? Make Congress on it. Put them on it. Make them subject to Medicare and to Social Security, and see how fast they clean it up. One law that says everybody, a member of Congress, has to be under the same laws and regulations as everyone else in the country. That'd take care of that. And it all started with the National Security Act of 1947. General Jones, Kissinger still running the show. They slipped this one through on us. We know it created the Air Force, or separated from the Army. We know they renamed the War Department the Defense Department. We know they created the CIA. But what generally gets forgotten about is it created the National Security Council. Well, can anyone name me who the National Security Council is? I didn't think so. And yet, if you think about it, whether it was the invasion of Grenada, the invasion of Panama, the first Gulf War, Vietnam, the Iraq, Afghanistan, this was all approved, okay, and run by the National Security Council. Well, who is the National Security Council? People, it's 4 people. It's the President, Vice President, Secretaries of State and Defense. Oops, wait a minute. The President selects the Vice President and the Secretaries of Defense and State, which means the National Security Act of 1947 is where we handed over all power to the executive branch. This has got to be changed.